Next slide. Hello, my name is Mark Wiseman. I'm the VP of Sustainability for Avalon Advanced Materials. I'm a biologist with over 36 years of national and international health and safety, environment, and social responsibility experience. And I'm here today to talk to you about sustainability and why it's good for investments. Next slide, please. So what is sustainability? Well, the term sustainable development was first defined in 1987 in the Brundtland Report as meeting our needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The initial focus was largely environmental, but since that time it has grown and evolved to be much more. Next slide, please. There are many definitions of sustainability out there, and I'm going to utilize the one that we here at Avalon utilize, and as identified in our sustainability policy. And that is, sustainability is adopting industry-leading practices for the management of health, safety, and environment, transparently engaging with local communities and stakeholders, treating those with whom we work with respect, and creating a workplace where employees are valued, engaged, and encouraged to succeed. It's also a means of self-regulation within the company to make sure that we're going to do what we say we're going to do as part of our company's business model. Next slide, please. Avalon's policy, and as it applies in most mining and mineral development, has 4 pillars in it. One is health and safety, community, environment, and our people, and I'll talk a little bit about those as we go along. Next slide, please. But why should companies be sustainable? Well, particularly in the industry, we are only in business with the consent of society, and society requires good and sustainability performance. We require, in other words, a social license to operate. Much of sustainability is covered by law, and there is extensive health, safety, environment regulation, and even in some jurisdictions, the duty to consult set the minimum requirements for being sustainable. But sustainability is not just a cost. Sustainability done right is economical and clearly adds value to a company. Next slide, please. So let's look at health and safety, the first pillar. Sustainable companies must commit to the health and safety of its employees, its contractors, and to the surrounding communities. This means we have to initially build and promote positive safety culture and associated behaviors. Management needs to lead and needs to train employees in order to be able to work in a safe environment and to work safely. We need to monitor leading indicators which prevent accidents and not just monitor our performance after the fact. Things like making sure we're doing our health and safety audits, making sure the training is being done and done properly. Those are the kinds of things that prevent accidents. We need to improve, but by doing this, we are actually going to improve our productivity by preventing accidents and fatalities. Accident and incident reporting is one of the key components of this because we need to learn from what we did wrong, learn from our mistakes, and then implement the corrective actions to make sure that these things don't happen again. Next slide, please. The second pillar is communities. We are committed to engage with communities of interest to contribute to the social and economic well-being of the communities associated with our activities. This means we must transparently and continuously engage and understand the local people, the communities, and their cultures. It's all about developing good relationships and trust and respecting those cultures. A good example of Avalon would be where we actually went out and spoke with Aboriginal communities before we went onto the land to start our drilling. It was not required to be done, but we did it, and at the same time we agreed to clean up some historical damage that was already in existence on the site. This was very good in that it demonstrated our commitment to sustainability, and it was a good way to develop the relationship with that community and to develop trust with them. Community relationships, particularly when it comes to Aboriginal communities, means that we have to develop accommodation agreements with them. These accommodation agreements, in particular in the mining business, mean commitments to employment for Aboriginal peoples, as well as commitments to business participation by Aboriginal companies. We agree to environmental standards of protection with them and permit them to look over our shoulders and make sure that we're doing the right thing. It means commitment to training for Aboriginal employees and bursaries for their youth. And in some cases, it even means equity participation and where they actually are part of our company. Next slide, please. Our people. People are clearly fundamental to any company, and it's important that you have a workplace that is based on mutual respect, trust, fairness, and integrity, and that you have a workplace where employees are encouraged to innovate and to grow. A sustainable reputation, including treating people right, means that you can attract and retain the best. Happy, competent people are productive people and a great resource and a key to a strong bottom line. Retaining people avoids retraining costs and production loss when people leave, and are thus essential to the success of the corporation. Next slide, please. The last pillar is environment. Strong environmental practices that meet or surpass local regulation is critical to a sustainable company. It includes things like comprehensive baseline studies so that you know what's out there and can manage all of the aspects of the environment that you're going to be dealing with. You need to know your regulations and your requirements, including things like the New Species at Risk Act, to make sure that you are in full compliance with all regulations at all times. It means that you assess the risks that you have out there and you mitigate potential impacts before they occur. You include contingency planning for the unexpected. You include detailed wildlife monitoring, including aquatic monitoring and management. You have state-of-the-art air and water treatment, and you monitor their performance. You progressively rehabilitate where you can, and your rehabilitation that you will need to be done when you finally close up a mine needs to be funded up front in most jurisdictions. And having that money up front ensures that the company will be able to rehabilitate the site when they're done. And being a leader is important. As an example, Avalon developed effluent quality standards in consultation with government and the communities where they did not exist anywhere in the world for the rare earth elements that we hope to produce at one of our projects. Next slide, please. So why are sustainable companies better investments? Well, superior health and safety performance saves money. Good health and safety performance means less costly downtime due to accidents, lower material damage, lower mandated medical insurance, and eliminate potential legal costs. It becomes easier to attract and retain a productive workforce if you have a safe workplace, and it's better for community relations when you're not harming the people within that community. Next slide, please. Superior environmental performance also saves money. Direct cost reductions can be associated with reduced energy costs, with efficient and or clean renewable energy, reduced waste management costs by being efficient in your use of products and reagents, and through recycling. More efficient use of water saves pumping and water treatment costs. It can reduce timelines for the acquisition of permits, which is especially important for exploration and development companies that don't have any income. These all save significant financial costs. Good environmental performance also avoids costs, things like the costs associated with spill prevention, or spills themselves, or reclamation or cleanup costs. Serious environmental issues such as major oil spills or tailings dam failures have the potential for large corporations to cost billions of dollars in fines and reclamation costs, as you've recently seen in the events in Brazil. Access to markets and opportunities is also a natural product of good sustainable performance. Opposition to projects such as the Keystone Pipeline between Alberta and the southern states is a good example of where environmental concerns can actually stop major projects. So these are all important reasons why good environmental performance saves you money. Next slide, please. Positive community relations also saves money. If you have support from for your project from the local communities and Aboriginal groups, it means you can get faster and easier permits. It allows you to negotiate agreements, mutually beneficial agreements with the communities or Aboriginal groups. And it reduces the risk of vandalism and even violence from community resistance to a project that is not that does not have good relationships. These relationships with communities reduce social license risk. It leads to better relationships with all stakeholders. This means that you're going to get more timely approvals from your regulators. Financing from banks. Banks are very cautious about who they loan money to, and they are careful to loan only to companies that have good sustainable reputations. So all of this means that a good, positive, sustainable corporation will save you money and actually generate finances for projects. Next slide, please. Management of risks also can save money and identify opportunities. Risk management is a key component of a sustainable company. It means that you have a system in place that can systematically identify risks, and you can then deal with them before they cause problems and serious associated costs. You can prevent downtime, prevent rework, you can prevent accidents, you can prevent environmental problems through having identified them up front with a good risk management program. But also when you're identifying risks, you can easily turn those around into opportunities to save money and improve performance, whether they be environmental, social, but most importantly, it leads to good economic performance. Next slide, please. So finally, good sustainability performance ensures access to preferred suppliers, customers, and strategic partners. Sustainable companies are generally better managed. And good sustainability performance for Avalon is particularly important because we will be a supplier of materials to the green technology business. More and more companies out there are concerned with where their raw materials are coming from and that they are coming from a sustainable supply. They want to make sure that their greenhouse gas footprint is minimized, and that means that the suppliers also have small greenhouse gas footprints. They want to be associated with companies that have good reputations and good environmental performance, so that a bad performance does not reflect negatively on them. Avalon has already been required to complete sustainability questionnaires or sustainability audits from customers and potential partners that require good sustainability performance before they'll be associated with a mining company. They are a little bit surprised when we in turn audit them, because we too are concerned about how our products are utilized and that they are looked after in a sustainable manner. Last slide, if there is one more. So I guess in conclusion, sustainable companies are better investments because they reduce your risk and they maximize your returns. Thanks for your attention.